I said many times that I really don't care about what is going on in Ukraine. I never cared. I had this policy that I try to avoid Ukrainians like fire, and I never went to their resort towns such as Odessa, and I never went to Crimea for the reasons that the Ukrainians that come here where I live in Moscow for work didn't show themselves to be such a nice people, to put it mildly. And like I said in my previous video, I consider a great deal of them, not all of course, filthy, disgusting, mercantile, whores. And of course I blame mostly Ukrainian women for the war because they are repugnant and mercantile. And this Nazism that happened, I think happened as a response to them selling themselves to highest bidder in the West, abroad, and even there they didn't care much about relationship or family, because what they care about mostly is having a luxurious car and a Gucci bag. That's what they care about. That's the truth about them. That has always been this way. Not all of them, but I just think that it's a lack of moral values and general backstabbing, mean, evil attitude to get to the top of this rat race by any means possible. And success is measured not by family, love, academic achievements, but rather what they seem in the eyes of other people as in terms of material success. And as I was taught during my psychology classes, our teacher told us that those are women that define decide who will be on the top. So alpha female decide which kind of alpha male will be on the top. So the government is basically according to the females of each country. The government is formed, the leader of the country, the leaders of the country are according to the choice of the women that live in that country. So that's what basically the problem is. And to be honest, I feel very sorry for Ukrainian men that are dying now at the front line. I'm sure a lot of them are not Nazis and were sent there against their will. And in spite of propaganda, I don't think anyone wants to go and fight there because they know it's a lost case. Now I'd like to give you some opinion again by an Israeli expert who is of course loyal to Russia because he was born in the USSR, I think. So in response to frequently posted comments about Ukraine and frequently posted articles in the Western media, No. No, you do your research. We did not have to buy anything from Iran. Most of the drones that we use come from buying patent from Israel long ago and modifying them somewhat. What we bought from Iran was due to its cheapness as comparing to Ukrainians firing the rockets from the air defense system. So, firing a rocket costs a lot, and a drone is comparatively very cheap. To hit them and desire to support the Iranian industry while they are under sanctions. Not because we do not have anything of our own, and yes, we have our own technologies, including modern tanks. Our tanks are called T-14 Armata, you can look it all up, T-1990M Vladimir, T-80Y, which are one of the best in the world, and the systems that we have not even used yet, such as Tu-35 Koalitsiya SV, for example, which is better than the US analog and is currently the best in the world. Are you really that stupid, or you pretend to be, in order to troll and delude naive people? It's your javelins that are really, in fact, defective, and your equipment that gets stuck in the mud there now. And basically, the taxpayers' money are all gone to waste. I wonder how really dumb one has to be. It's a joke in itself to actually believe articles that one can take a microchip out of washing machine and insert it into a tank. You need some reality check badly. You start your comment to the video showing the abundance of food in Russia under sanction, saying food is not important, and then you end it with false claim you read somewhere on Daily Mail or New York Times about conscripts having nothing to eat. You have some cognitive dissonance. Yesterday there was an article in Daily Mail that Russians are running out of shovels now. There are only 3 shovels to dig ditches for 20 people. So we used to run out of armor before, now we run out of shovels. Then this expert from Israel gave a detailed assessment of new Russian weapons based on hypersonic. He noticed that the colossal lag between the United States and Russia. The Americans are only testing prototypes which are already much inferior in terms of technical characteristics to real Russian hypersonic missiles. The United States reached a prototype rocket speed of Mach 5.5, but it was preliminarily dispersed by an aircraft, and Russian rockets start from a standstill with a speed of Mach 9. This is 11,000 kilometers per hour, and also having human-type artificial intelligence have an amazing hit accuracy at such super speeds. The Avangard complex generally flies at the speed of Mach 30. This is better than any fantasy. And in Russia, also a 3rd generation are being developed to the fullest, which they don't talk about. The world has changed, but Americans haven't realized it yet. Russia along the way is developing means of protection against hypersonic missiles, and the United States does not even think about this. Why nuclear warheads? Super-speed hypersonic missiles will solve everything in a quarter of an hour, in 15 minutes. He compared the submarine fleet of the United States and the Russian Federation. American submarines are good, but the missiles on them are old. There are 18 missiles on American boats and 14 on Russian Burets. But the Americans have 3 warheads per missile. The Russians have 6-8 missiles each, that is, the total number of targets hit as a result is significantly many times more bigger. Supersedes. Moreover, the Avangard hypersonic glide block can also be put on Russian missiles, and this changes everything. The dominance of the US submarine fleet is already in the past. The Russian submarine fleet is ahead of Americans. It is deeper. 1,000 meters deep is already a working depth. The Americans do not have this. I'm not talking about Poseidons. Ultra-precise hypersonic weapons can destroy all 3 elements of the nuclear triad in 15 minutes. Missile launchers, airfields, and aircraft carrying nuclear weapons and submarines with intercontinental missiles. The United States has 14 strategic submarines. Only 10 are in working order. For the Zircons, it's a matter of minutes to destroy 10 submarines, and that's all. All these hostilities can last minutes, a quarter of an hour. There are 170 power plants in the United States. Only 3 submarines, 2 volleys, and within 10 minutes the United States is de-energized and completely de-energized for a long time. There is no country, no one can do anything. So, to me it sounds rather objective, because again, I don't care. I know Russian army will win, not because of some kind of super duper weapons, but rather than karma. I believe it exists, and also I believe that those who desecrate the graves of martyrs, the dead Jews, dead Russian soldiers, they are not going to have any land left, because if you destroy memorials, if you desecrate the graves, you're going to have a burning land, that's it. And this now concerns not only Ukraine, but also Poland. So I don't think that there will be much of a country, and as a prospect for Poland also in the future. That's what they did to themselves, fucking with the spiritual world. Meanwhile, they are posting various videos about cannibalism and how to cook Russian people in their traditional borщ, beetroot soup. And they have always done this. It's been about 10 years now when they have these slogans everywhere: death to Russia, death to Russians, Russians should be stabbed with knives, glory to Ukraine, death to Jews, glory to heroes. All these banners they have everywhere, and they have been doing for a very long time, and this is basically death to Russia, death to Russia, death to Russians. And yeah, and they have been, I repeat, heavily subsidized in the times of Soviet Union, and we have always sent money there from Moscow, because Moscow is self-sufficient, it is profitable as a city, as a region, but there was not so. So we had to give a lot of donations in aid, and this lasted for dozens of years, and that's how they paid us. Now I want everybody who is receiving those refugees to think about all of that and wonder if the same thing is going to happen to you, with how they are so-called grateful. So let's read this recent article. Warning of a new phone scam after pensioner handed over 10,000 to a fraudster pretending to be police officer. Elderly man conned out of £10,000. Scammer impersonating a police officer. Another woman in her 70s nearly parted with cash, but she was stopped in time. Devon police are urging people to be vigilant after rising new phone scam. Comes after experts warn Hi Mom, Hi Dad scam has evolved to new channels. So, guess who does this phone scamming? Guess who does it? Yes, it's coming to your land. Everything that you didn't know about, what they haven't told you about, is coming to you. And I basically don't care. Each day I wake up and I miss every hour of every day. I miss my man that they poisoned. And also my son is suffering. And every day I have this little war in my personal head where I wish death to the ex-wife that finished my man, and now my son has no father. I have absolutely nobody to protect me from their attacks, from the creature attacks, and I don't have any consortium, and I have been traumatized beyond belief, and I wish death to that ex-wife that finished him and stolen all my inheritance, my son's inheritance. So basically, I never cared about Ukraine. I stayed away from there, and here in Moscow I stayed away from Ukrainians. All I care about is that disgusting, repulsive, infertile creature would die. I wish you death, I really do. I really hope she dies some painful death, and I hope that some kind of a hurricane will hit her home or her car. And of course, I hope that all those CIA freaks and MI6 freaks and FSB freaks that were corrupted, I hope that everything that happened to my son will repeat to them. I hope that their children will get cancer on their balls or other very, very painful form of cancer, so that they, for an hour, for a day, would live in my skin and feel how my son feels. I wish you CIA, MI6, ugly, disgusting, inbred fucks to feel how I feel, how my son feels.